Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we are going to present a topic of food toxicology, which is food preservation. These are the members that give a great cooperation and commitment to finish this task. And now, let's start with the introduction. So what exactly is food preservation? Food preservation is the process of treating and handling food in such a way as to stop or greatly slow down spoilage and prevent foodborne illness, while maintaining nutritional value, texture, and flavor of the food products. It is also defined as the act of preserving foods for consumption or storage at a later time by using one or more of various physical and chemical processes. And this is the reason why the food preservation is created.
Canning method. So basically this method is known as one of the methods of food preservation in which it process and seal the food content in an airtight container. During this process, the food content in jars is heated to a temperature that can kill the microorganism that might cause food spoilage or illness. So here are the two common methods that have been used during canning. The first one is the water bed canning method and the second one is the pressure canning method. The differences between these two methods is pressure canning is a process under pressure to keep the temperature constant, while water bed canning is a process without using pressure to increase the boiling temperature. One is another method that can be used for the canning method. So, here we have the atmospheric steam canning, retouchage, and lastly, we have a pressure canner.
Very good explanation of canning method by Ina. Next, we'll be moving on to drying method of food processing by me, Naimah, with the matrix number of 059000. Drying method is a process of removing water from food by circulating hot air through it, which inhibits the growth of bacteria. There are 4 types of drying technology: sun drying, solar drying, freeze drying, and oven drying. For sun drying, fruits are safe because it has high sugar content and acid content, while vegetables aren't. This is solar drying. As you can see, it uses sun as heat source, got ventilation to speed up the drying process, and uses black absorption surface to raise the temperature. Freeze drying lowered the surrounding temperature, and the frozen water sublimate directly from solid to gas phase. Oven drying combine the factors of heat, humidity, and airflow. This is less efficient as they consume more energy and takes longer time than dehydrated.
Freezing method. Freezing extends the shelf life of many foods and has been used to successfully preserve them for long periods of time. There are a few types of freezing method. The first one is plate freezing. The product is sandwiched between metal frozen plates and pressure is usually applied to ensure good contact. Next is immersion freezing. Food is immersed in a low temperature brine to achieve rapid temperature reduction via direct heat exchange. Third is cabinet freezing. Cold air is circulated in a cabinet where the product is placed in a tray. High heat transfer rates are generated by a cabinet freezer with an air velocity of at least 5 meters per second. Next, air blast freezing. Cold air flowing at relatively high speed is used to reduce the temperature of food. The most cost-effective freezing occurs at air speeds of 2.5 to 5 meters per second. Lastly, cryogenic freezing. Cryogenic freezing involves putting liquefied gases in direct contact with the food. Food is exposed to an atmosphere below 60 degrees as well as to liquid nitrogen, liquid carbon dioxide, or their vapor through direct contact.
Now we are going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of all methods. For canning method, the advantage is it can be kept on the shelf for 1 to 2 years or longer, and the disadvantage is the canned food does not have the same flavor as the fresh food. For drying method, the food that have been purchased in excess might be dried to save cost is one of its advantage, and the moisture may create mold on food if it is left in the food during the drying process or allowed in during storage is the disadvantages. For freezing method, you can easily duplicate recipes to make convenient dishes that are free of chemicals, preservatives, salt, and sugar is one of its advantage, and the disadvantage is when frozen. Certain foods will alter the texture and do not taste or feel the same when thawed and eaten. Alright, that is all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for all the presenters. Now we have come to the conclusion. Nowadays, we can see that food preservation methods have ranged from simple process of drying and salting to more complex procedures such as canning and pasteurization. Food experts and scientists are constantly researching new preservation methods to expand our options. We can see that food preservation has always been important in our society as it can ensure food safety and sustenance for people all over the world. Preservation not only extends the life of the food, but it also prevents food waste and enables us to eat our favorite food product all year around. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day ahead.
So here we have a question for the types of food preservation method. The first one is, do we need to sterilize jars before canning? To answer this question is actually you do not need to sterilize jars if they will be processed in a pressure canner, or if they will be processed in a boiling water bed canner for at least 10 minutes. But if the jars are processed in a boiling water bed canner for less than 10 minutes, you will need to sterilize them first by boiling them in hot water for 10 minutes before you fill them with food.
So the next question is how to prevent home canned food from spoilage. To prevent spoilage, start with the best quality food and then process it quickly and correctly. This is because bruised or insect damaged food contains microorganisms that cause spoilage. Other than that, use canning method from current and reliable sources and follow the recommended processing methods, time and temperature. Moreover, do not overfill the jars and do not change the ingredients in the recipe because it has been scientifically tested for safety and quality. Finally, use supplies and equipment that are in good working order or have them repaired or replaced before you start to can. Alright, that is all from our group. Thank you.